past week has honestly been so slow and relaxing. I turned 26 last weekend, and my roommate and I went up to LA to see Kumeyaay and just bop around the city. And it was such an emotional, spiritual, creative reset for me. I was able to visit the tea at Shiloh Tea House, and honestly, I just feel my love of poetry being revitalized after this last birthday week. I finished Post-Colonial Love Poem and have moved on to You Can Be the Last Leaf, and I'm also reading a book on writing by Annie Dillard. And yeah, I'm just feeling very slow, sensual, and in my vibe. I just finished reading Wise Child, and it was so nourishing. It was so like everything that I needed, especially as we're entering the witchy season with the veil being thin. Fall is just around the corner. I mean, by the time I put this up, it's probably already past the equinox, and yeah, it really just grounded me into the nature-based principles that I know to be true in my body. It was such a wonderful reminder of women, witches, and those who choose to live in the rhythm, which it's not exclusive to women, but yeah, this is definitely another mother-daughter, mother figure nurturing relationship. I just feel like I've been reading so many books with mother-daughter themes, and I actually rated this book 5 stars because even though I feel it's a YA novel, so it's not lit fic or anything like that, but some of the statements and just the observations that the child narrator made were just so impactful on me. I cried after finishing this book. It is a 3-part series, so I have the next 2 on hold at the library. I think this book came out in the 80s too. It's a pretty old YA novel. I loved it. I would highly recommend if you're looking for something witchy and kind of adventurous. There's a lot of mention of herbs and other pagan nature-based magic practices. So if you're into that, you'll probably love just reading about the little tasks that they do. It's also very Christian critical, which I appreciate. Yeah, really just a grounding book to get you back into the rhythm of nature if you've been feeling disconnected, or not, if you're just feeling in the mood. Yeah, loved Wise Child. And up next, I have Bad Fruit that I picked up at the library this past week. I've got Bad Fruit. I also want to finish Post-Colonial Love Poem and House of Light. So yeah, I've got some good things on my list and feeling very cozy after reading this. Yeah, that's all. This morning I am headed to the library to pick up some of the books that came in. I also decided to pick up this that's just been sitting on my shelf for a minute. I often will go through and just read some of the interviews by the writers that I feel particularly connected to. So today I decided to start with Maya Angelou, and there were just so many beautiful takeaways that I wanted to share from her interview with the editor, Claudia Tate. This book came out in, I believe, the 80s, and it's just a compilation of interviews with the editor, Claudia Tate, and some of the very influential Black women writers at the time. So we've got Maya Angelou, Audre Lorde, Toni Morrison, and Ntozake Shange. These are some of my favorite writers ever. And the Maya Angelou interview had so many beautiful takeaways. So first, I'm always trying to be a better human being. And second, I continue to learn my craft. Then, when I have something positive to say, I can say it beautifully. That is my responsibility. Today, I'm feeling soft. I'm feeling inspired. I had a really good therapy session this morning, and yeah, I'm very aware of all of the energies moving within and around me at all times. I am going to return some of the books. I'm returning You Can Be the Last Leaf because I finished it and I didn't even get a chance to talk about it. You Can Be the Last Leaf by Maya Abu Al-Hayat, and I sped through this book. I think I finished it in like 3 days. It is a poetry compilation and the author is a Palestinian woman. And I forget how I found this. Oh, I was just looking up poetry compilations that the San Diego Public Library had, specifically at one of the locations that is close to me. And I really liked the cover. It was just really interesting. And I noticed that the name was Arabic, and I think I was feeling disenchanted with Mary Oliver. Love her, love my girl. But sometimes I need something a bit more rooted in the world outside of like pondering. And yeah, I just figured that a work by a Palestinian woman would be a good like complementary piece after reading Post-Colonial Love Poem by Natalie Diaz. I'm just in that vibe. I'm in that like state of mind of being aware of land and ancestry and power and desire, and yeah, wanting love as a means of freedom outside of like oppressive regimes. So You Can Be the Last Leaf, I rated this 5 stars. I think this compilation was absolutely incredible. There were so many poems where I was just like, holy shit. And it makes me wish that I could read in Arabic so that I could read the original text without translation. Still, the translation I thought was really well done and it flowed and I laughed. There were just so many like little witty lines. Yeah, lots of poems on motherhood, loss, time passing, and like how mundane life can be. Poems on occupation. I mean, really all of these to be written by a Palestinian woman, these are all poems about occupation and imperialism and colonization. So highly recommend this book. It was so nourishing. I want to buy a copy on eBay because I don't ever want to be without this book. But yeah, I'm off to the library to return some books. I'm gonna run some errands, and I think I'm just gonna keep it really chill and slow today. This week, I finished reading Juniper. So good. I didn't rate it 5 stars just because I feel like Wise Child stuck with me so much. I was kind of like comparing it to Wise Child the whole time, but I really loved it. I have the last book, I think it's Coleman in the series. Really good. Like, obviously the weather is changing, it's getting cozier, and I'm just feeling like I want slow green magic in my life, like both in my own practice as well as what I'm reading. So yeah, I feel like that's a really good like seasonal, lighthearted, again, it's YA, so it's just like super chill. And I've also been reading a lot of poetry. Miso. I've been reading a lot of poetry. Post-Colonial Love Poem, banger. Fucking love that poem compilation. I am definitely trying to read more of Natalie Diaz because I just think she's one of my favorite poets that I've ever read. I'm also reading Time as a Mother by Ocean Vuong. I am maybe like 75% of the way through Night Sky with Exit Wounds, also by Ocean Vuong. And I don't know, that one is just so much more somber and visceral, and I put on my Instagram that Ocean seems a little bit cuntier in this collection. Like, it's a little bit more colloquial, it's a lot queerer, like in a contemporary queer way. Like, I can tell that Ocean hangs out with like Black queer people. So I'm really enjoying this one. What else am I reading? I'm still reading Writing Life by Annie Dillard. And that book is, I don't really know how to describe it, but it's kind of like a companion book if you're writing a novel or just like trying to commit to your writing practice. Just kind of feel, I don't know, a little bit like disenchanted with how she talks about the life of a writer, like holding yourself up in this windowless room with just a desk and a bed, and like that's depressing. And so Maya Angelou had a really good take, which I feel like it's cool because it's in conversation with the other book that I'm reading, and that one is written by a white woman, whereas obviously Maya Angelou is like Black literary royalty. And she says, writing is a part of my life. Cooking is a part of my life. Making love is a part of my life. Walking down the street is a part of it. Writing demands more time, but it takes from all of these other activities. They all feed into the writing. I think it's dangerous to concern oneself too damn much with being an artist. It's more important to get the work done. You don't have to concern yourself with it. Just get it done. And I really, really respect that take, because in Annie Dillard's version of the writing life, you know, she's talking about not having been outside in days, or like requesting a room without a window so that she won't be distracted by the outside world. But for Black women writers such as Maya Angelou, and like I would even, you know, consider the work that I'm doing to be of this lineage of Black femme writers and people who are of this artistic expression, like, you can't remove yourself from the world. First of all, that's a luxury. Second, like, I take so much inspiration from living. I've always said that like living is half of writing, and like you can't just shut yourself out of this experience so that you can, yeah, have this craft. Like, there is no craft of writing if you're not also living and being in the world. Those are the books that I'm reading this week, and I guess I'm just feeling really inspired. Like, my trip to LA just left me feeling, I'm just looking at my day-to-day life with so much wonder, and I feel like I've finally gotten in the swing of my full-time job as well. Like, I am just noticing myself getting good at things and feeling way more comfortable in my position, and yeah, feeling that sense of authority and just knowing that like I deserve to be there. That's kind of a new feeling. I feel like I'm not always particularly confident in workspaces. I get very aware that my neurodivergence shows, and then I spend a lot of energy trying to mask that. But at this job, I feel like I can fully let my ADHD just like run free. I have my own workstation, and I often just let it get super messy, not even caring what anyone thinks, and then I clean it up on my own time, and like I have my own flow, and it feels really good to not be micromanaged and just like trusted. I really value workspaces where there is trust, and I feel like I'm still figuring out my relationship to labor. Honestly, a lot of the poems I've been writing talk about labor in some way or another, or like the body and like what I've had to give up in order to write. I mean, I do a lot of writing on the clock, not gonna lie. I'm just feeling very aware, feeling very sensitive in a way that serves my art. I think I'm going to wrap this video up. I'm sitting here. It's Friday. I got off work and I'm feeling super cozy. I'm in my sweats and it's just been raining all day. So I think I'm gonna cozy up with Black women writers at work and Time as a Mother. Maybe make myself some hot chocolate. But until the next video, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. And until then, I will simply be pondering.